All right, all right. I do apologize to the room for my silence or my ability to be late, even though I'm here and in the room with you guys. I was trying to share some things in the jumbo. I think I got most of what I'm trying to share up there for you. Peace to you guys. Welcome to my space. I'm just Eve. I don't claim to be an authority on things, but I do know a little bit about some things. So, welcome to my thoughts tonight. Paperwork check. Who goes there? I think that this is a type of space that maybe I've been known to have because sometimes people think that they can just kind of be around us or be around certain people and it's cool. Or, you can be cool by proxy. And I think that that's very dangerous. Don't you? Don't you hate when somebody has been given a pass even though the vetting process didn't quite get vetted the right way? The vetting ain't vet. Is that how we're gonna say that? The math ain't mathin'. That's my thing. The math ain't mathin' some people. And maybe y'all picked up on it, maybe you didn't. I think the word for tonight, or at least this beginning part of my evening with you, will be discernment. Discerning mean the ability to judge well. I think that is necessary when we're talking about who we allow in our spaces and what they're talking about. Sometimes people might say the right thing, but it's still the wrong person. And if you can't tell the difference between a person saying the right thing and it is the right person, or a person saying the right thing and then they're not the right person, then I think that that makes you unsafe. And I have to use my discernment about if I'm going to be around you or not. So, discernment. I found out about a situation a little while ago revolving around a man named Rick Mathis. I guess his real name is Shadrach Mathis, but let's just call him Rick for comfort of my mouth and your ears. But Rick Mathis he was involved in the B1 movie, and that's kind of how I heard about him. Here's an article I found from August of this year by Malik Brown. Rick Mathis emphasizes putting Black people first in new film B1 the movie. Sounds good, right? Like, it's kind of catchy. And actually, when I heard about the movie, when I heard about the B1 movie, I was like, that sounds kind of cool. But, maybe you know that I have my own reservations with people using B1 and not necessarily meaning it the right way or knowing what it means or if they're even on code. It just sounds like some cool lingo. And I think maybe that trendsetter thing happens a little more often than we like to claim, and then people get around and they might not need to be around. I don't know. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree. If you disagree, maybe you'll have an opportunity to come chat with me about it. But first, this article. Rick Mathis, they call him the documentary king. Now, okay, I hate titles like this because if I've never heard about you, I'm not saying that I have to have heard about you specifically, but like if people don't know about you, can you really be the king of something? I don't know. I'll pause on that. He's an accomplished filmmaker. Okay, again, sorry. I'm sorry. I got to cut myself off again because, again, if people don't know about you, then are you accomplished? I don't know. Maybe I'm just jaded. Or maybe I just feel like you should be bigger than you are when you start making certain claims. I don't know. But anyway, Mr. Mathis is an accomplished filmmaker, according to this article, and an author with over 20 years of experience in photojournalism and filmmaking. And for the purposes of this space, I did do a little bit of research about him. I did see that he's got a couple documentaries out there, and he has been around for a while. But that kind of goes back to my main point, doesn't it? If I've never heard about you, does it matter that you've been doing this for a long time? I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe because you've been able to talk to certain people, certain specific people, that makes you special. Maybe it does. I don't know. Mathis, the filmmaker for B1 the Movie, a perspective on the current economic crisis and its impact on Black Americans, emphasizing prioritizing the needs of Black people by getting on code. Dr. Boyce Watkins and Mathis examine the state of the Black community with the question, what is it going to take for Black people to put Black people first? The film was supposed to premiere, and I think it did, on August 17th with a red carpet screening in Atlanta and a live stream global watch party for viewers around the world. Isn't that wonderful, you guys? I mean, it just sounds so cool. This article asks, what does it mean to get on code? And this is my main reason for bringing up this article. I just wanted to give you this answer. And then one more question and answer, and then maybe you'll have some thoughts. Or if you don't, then I have a ton of more thoughts to share with you. But first, what does it mean to get on code? Here's the answer, according to this article. For so many years, we've put other people before us from the standpoint of building this nation and nurturing their kids. We put other races first before the Black race, and they don't put other races before their race. Okay, I can stop there. I'm cool with that definition. Putting Black people first. Now, if you've been around any real length of time on these spaces or on this app, you will know that in 2022, the Black delegation decided that we don't need anybody else on our team. We're good. This seat's taken. America's full. We don't need no new friends. And deal with it, nigga. Okay, let me stop. That's not ladylike, but that is the sentiment. I feel like, people should be cool with claiming who they are and being on their side of things. So cool. But, the Black race, that's that big umbrella term that we've been trying to get away from, haven't we? Foundational Black America, Native Black Americans, freedmen, descendants of formerly enslaved persons in this country. We've been trying to take back Black. And nobody really wants to give it back, not until it's something really bad. But when it's this positive stuff, yeah, everybody's Black. When we're doing the right thing for our community, we Black first. Are we? The article says that it's several codes we talk about in the film. We talk about health, relationships, and educating our kids. And in media, we talk about it from the standpoint of music, film, and social media. We describe being on code as being sensitive to what the Black society needs to survive and to thrive by putting those needs first and foremost, before one's personal needs. So plain and simple, what we mean when we say on code is looking out for the group as opposed to your individual self. You're going to look at yourself automatically, but at the end of the day, it's doing what's best for the group. Okay, Again, some of this stuff I can kind of pause and say, yeah, that makes sense. Like being black first, or at least the notion of putting us first before other people, other races put themselves before us. That's all very familiar to me. And I have no issues there. What I do have an issue with is right here. It's like all the way at the end of the article. What does putting black first mean to you? Now, look, I'm only going to pause here for if anybody wants to come and explain this to me, because I do have other thoughts. But if you can explain what this means to me, I will bake you some cookies and send it to you. So that's a challenge. Here's what it says. What does putting black first mean to you? Here's the answer. This is something that is vital that we need to do in order to put the next generation first, in order to honor the previous generation that has come before us and say, hey, I appreciate what you did. I appreciate the sacrifices you made for me. I'm going to put B1 first. I'm going to put black first for you and the sacrifices you made. And I'm going to put black first for the next generation so they can stand on my shoulders and make a win. At the end of the day, B1 is about winning. It's all about winning. Keep winning, king. Keep winning, queen. Did that make sense to you? Because I mean, it sounds nice, right? But I just don't understand how that means putting black first. Like, it just sounds like word salad. Like, if someone were to ask me, what does being black first mean? It means putting us first. And it seems like a very simple answer. And once you start trying to confuse things or crowd it or make it so that people can't understand, well, now I feel like you're about to feed me some bullshit. And that's, I guess that's where we're going to start today. Being fed bullshit. If somebody is giving you something that they're telling you that you need, but you don't know the person giving it to you, is it something that you need? In the room, we have a brother who's been dealing with some situations revolving this Rick Mathis guy. And if he wants to speak on it, I throw him a mic. If he doesn't want to speak on it, then I'll just keep talking about it. But black on black crime, I, I'm having a really hard time with this. Peace to you, brother Raheem. Welcome to the stage.
Peace and Black Power family. I want to thank you, first of all, Just Eve, for even having this space. I want to thank those that showed up in this space. And I know we got a lot to unpack. That intro was everything. So I know we're gonna get right to it. And listen, I don't really supposed to be talking because of the legal ramifications, but I'm gonna say as much as I can. And I might even say a little more. I might get myself in trouble today. But y'all know me. The gloves is always off over here. So let's get it.
The gloves are off. We're gonna come back to that, so please don't let me forget that, Raheem. But let's chop it up a little bit. When we were talking about this in the back channel, all I kept seeing was black on black crime. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to diminish or devalue or even to make light of the situation going on, but when you told me what was going on and when I read about what was going on, I just couldn't help but see this is how niggas treat each other. Like, this is what we doing in 2023. So I don't know. I know you can't say a lot, but maybe if you could just confirm for me that Rick Mathis is a black man in America. Can you do that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's
All
he's
right.
he's a black man, foundational black man, from what I'm told. But man, listen, unless I see some paperwork, I ain't believing shit no more.
You know, and that's a very good point. You know, people do start needing to take that paperwork check very seriously. The same way that I would tell anybody dating in 2023 that if you ain't seen no baby pictures, you might need to see some baby pictures because, you know, them people out here, they doing a lot. But paperwork check. Rick Mathis, I don't know this man. I've never heard of him up until this B1 movie thing, and I have a problem when there's people who are being kind of introduced to us from people that we trust. I know, and I've talked to you about this before, and I know you have your thoughts about this, but my thoughts are that if someone is saying this person is trustworthy, and then the person ends up not being trustworthy, it's their job to do something about that. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. And one thing that I will say is that um his role in it was as a producer, right? As a director, and it was him and Boyce Watkins' film. So in hindsight, me looking back, I really, didn't go to the length of saying, okay, he got to be immersed in the black experience. He got to be black power to the last hour. And maybe that should have been done, looking in hindsight. But I can tell you for a fact that he is not immersed in the B1 experience. He's not. He, he ain't from the cloth that we come from. I will say that throughout the time, from interviewing people, conversations, talking, he adapted all the talking points. You know what I mean? Because listen, it's one thing for someone to be a fraud and try to perpetrate a fraud, but when they closest to you, and they watching everyone's actions and they getting the talking points, it's easier to mimic, what you see and who you want to project yourself to be. And when everything around you or most of the people around you is on the same level, it's just like you don't really look for that. Like I'm not looking for chinks in other people's armor unless it's apparent and it starts to show. You know what I mean? And I think for now on, everybody's suspect into proving otherwise. Like I'm not even letting individuals get close to me, and I'm not even being around people that unless we have some type of history together. Because this situation right here was definitely an eye opener for me and for everybody else.
Absolutely. Let's talk about it. So on the GoFundMe that is posted in the Jumbo, I have my own issues or concerns about a legal fund, or at least, again, to me, it's seeming like some black on black crime. So I'm just going to read what the police report says, and then maybe if you can comment on it, you can comment. But it says on or about August 18th, 13th through the 28th of this year, Raheem made several threats to made several trips to Mr. Mathis's house and frequented locations without consent for the purposes of harassing and intimidation, text messages, phone calls, posted videos with the intent of provoking violence towards Mr. Mathis. And then at the end of it, uh, Mr. Raheem has firearms. And all of that just seems very strange. A grown man went to court and filed a protective order against another grown man for because he was upset about how a situation was handled. Is that is that what happened, Raheem?
Yeah, pretty much. That's everything in a nutshell. Everything that he said is a lie. You know what I mean? And that's what makes me so enraged about this situation, right? I never went to your house, you know what I mean? And you're gonna have to prove that. Um, I never frequent places that you be at. Um, Posting things online that could possibly provoke violence. I just told the truth. I showed pictures of a black woman that I had a hours of conversation with, who told me about the brutalization that she had from his hands, right? I have police documents, I have bail application, I got everything. You know what I mean? And what no one else had, right, that knew about this situation is the pictures. And she was kind enough to give me those pictures, right? And the reason why she gave it to me, because she said no one was standing up for her. And it was unbelievable that I was even talking about what happened to her. Because many people just forgot like it didn't even happen. I didn't know about it. Had I known about it, I never, ever would have did business with this individual. I would have never been a part of that production team. Now, I will say this. He did tell me about a situation, but he didn't tell me the depth of it. He told me that it was an altercation between him and an ex girlfriend. Some pushing, some shoving, some shouting. Neighbor calls the police. They come. She has a scratch on her. He goes to jail. Simple and plain. We see that happen time and time again. And it wasn't no more to that until other people started telling me the whole entire story. See, what people got to realize, family, is that bad news travel fast, right? This started out as a situation between me and him, and I called him out on his business practices, and then he made a video, and then I made a video, and then the receipts was coming in. You know what I mean? And I exposed him for who he was. And what he did was he weaponized the police to come to my house. And he is the king of TPO, right? Because let's be clear. I said this in those videos and I'll say it again. He had two TPOs, temporary protective order, filed against him within 24 hours from two black women in the community, his ex-wife and the girl at the time he was dating that he brutalized. So he knows about TPO. I never even heard of a TPO. I know about a restraining order, and what I do know is very little about it. But they're very easy to get because they was intended for women that are being stalked, harassed by boyfriends, co-workers, colleagues, and it is to have them stay away from them for a duration of time, and it may be for a week or two before you can head to court, and then the judge will decide whether to make it permanent or for a year or whatever they do. So he know exactly what he's doing, and what I did, which I didn't know because I don't know about this, is that I posted the TPO. And when I posted the TPO, I guess that was a violation of it. A warrant was issued. We did get it vacated, but I still have to go to court. And so these are the tactics that he's playing. Um, I don't even supposed to be talking, but when you're talking the truth, man, and the truth is on your side, what else can happen? So that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell the truth, and I'm here to let people know who this individual is, and I think I owe it to everybody um, that came out that day to support that film. People that I personally rallied and had come out there on my behalf. A lot of people, like you said, you don't know him. A lot of people don't know him. So individuals that are in the film, individuals that worked on the film, are the ones that really rallied the people to come out for that one monumental day that will never repeat itself because no one is standing next to this man. There may be a few people, I don't know, but publicly, no one is standing next to him. His career is ruined, and this is the aftermath of it. So my thing is this, right? I don't like to ask for help. I consider myself an individual that has done good for himself independently. I don't work for nobody. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 18 years, but these legal fees is mounting, and I definitely want to set a precedence, and I do want to countersue, because when he signed that document that you see right up there, um he said everything he's saying is just and true, and he swore under oath. So to lie and to in order to obtain a TPO is a felony within itself. And one of the reasons why he was saying that I had violated the TPO already, he was telling people I was going to jail, I was violating the TPO by posting it. And what he doesn't know is that it's on the county website. You know what I mean? Under the freedom of information law, it's called a FOIL request. You can ascertain this information. So you're not going to throw a rock and hide your hand. So the community know who he is, and I'm just sitting back. I'm here for the comments. I'm here to see how people's going to react and who is going to stand next to this man. after what he did. Because it's me today, right? But it can be you or someone else tomorrow. And I said this before and I'll say it again. He is the William O'Neill of the conscious community. There's nothing that's any different than this man than William O'Neill, who was the person that gave the layout to the police to show them where Fred Hampton was sleeping at the day they came and assassinated him. To tell the police that I have firearms when they came to my house that first time, the second time, and the third time, there was one at the top of the steps knocking on the door, one at the bottom, two out front, and one around back. You tell me, is that regular police activity just to give someone a piece of paper? So once I seen that, I went down there the very next day and told them that I'm here because the police came to my house and I want to face the music. What's going on? And I almost knew in my mind what it was. I knew, but I wasn't sure. And sure enough, I was right. I was right. You know, I don't know, man. You know, you got to be a certain caliber of a person, man, to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I want to say this, right? And then I'll give you back the microphone. When I say I'm watching everybody, I'm watching everybody. I'm watching some of these elders. Yeah, and I'm gonna say this, man. A lot of them are cowards. I can't tell you the amount of time that people called and told me, man, I just wish y'all could work it out. Listen, it's beyond that point. It's beyond that point. We could never work nothing out. I'm gonna tell you the best thing that can happen is that he stay over there and I stay way the fuck over here, and we leave it like that. We will never be in the same room again. We will never share the same stage again, and we will never be on a flight again. And that's that. You know, for people to say, "I wish y'all would work it out," there has to become a time where we exile those that are not like mind to us and those that are tools for white supremacy from amongst us. We have to run them from amongst us. And if we don't, that's at the detriment of our own self and our own being. Because before we can even wage war against the open enemy, the first 10,000 bullets has to be on those that are handkerchief head Negroes, who are traitors, who are backstabbers. Let me shut up, man, because I might say something that get me in trouble. I'm gonna give it back to you, Eve.
Yeah, let's not get you in trouble right this second, but we might get you in trouble with what I'm about to ask you. Look, man, I'm sorry. If I'm a woman, right? So I might not have the best thought about this, but it seems like back in the day, if two niggas had a problem, y'all would just fight. And then,
Mm,
whoever won, that's what it is. And
talk that talk.
I I just can't help but think that if you call the police on another black person, then you already are saying that you don't care about black people in general. Like, just the optics of that are bad. But maybe you are fearful for your life. I do think that there's levels there. If you think you about to die, maybe you do need to call somebody who can help you out. But just know that the people that you call might shoot you in the process of, trying to help the situation out. So I think there's levels, but just getting back to the whole, he called the cops, or he filed a report because of something you said. Essentially, he didn't like you letting people know that he's got some skeletons in his closet. And that made me think about the fact that, we need to stop pedestalizing people. So, people have past. People do shit. Life is messy and nobody's perfect. Throwing that out there. But it doesn't mean that you can just live your life and nobody knows that you did something bad because you got to hide it under the rug. No, you probably should face the music, or own it, or be accountable, or at least let people know that you've changed from that type of person that you were when you were doing those things. That got me thinking, when we're vetting people, it sounded like you did some work. He told you about a situation that happened, and that was that. And if he had told you, I guess, the extent of what you learned after the fact, you're saying that you wouldn't have done business with him. And I don't know. I don't know if that's the move either, Raheem, because people do shit. If people have changed from the person that they used to be and now they're a different person, then there's evidence of this new person, then maybe you don't hold their past against them. Not sure, but just throwing that out there. But for what it's worth, I don't know that he's changed if he's using the whole temporary protective order as a weapon when it was used against him. I don't know. I guess
Let,
he's
let, let,
a little
let me
dated
go a
now.
little, yeah, let me go a little further, and this will bring you up to date where you know he didn't change, right? First of all, his narrative is that the girl provoked him, whatever, whatever. It happened. He says that he paid his restitution and he did his time. Let's be clear, he did 8 fucking days in jail. He didn't do no time. I spent more time in the mess hall child line than that shit. You know what I mean? Now, he doesn't take accountability for what he did because his narrative is that after it happened, the girl was still with him for 45 days. She said it was a week. It wasn't 45 days. But let's say for the argument, it was 45 days before she went and filed charges. Anybody that knows about abuse and women that are being abused, or not even women, abused, people that are abused, survivors of domestic violence, it takes 7 to 10 times attempts before they actually leave those who abuse her. She left the first time. It took her a week from what she told me, right? So she said that if because he said that he broke up with her and that's why she went to the police and told them what happened 45 days ago because she said she couldn't stand to see him in the community with another woman and that she was going to destroy his life, right? Let me tell you something. She told a few people in the community, but she didn't tell enough, or she didn't tell the right one because nobody blew the whistle. She never put out the picture. She never put out the police report. So she still does it. It was like almost convinced. I didn't really have to do too much convincing. I just told her, like, I will tell your story and I will guarantee you that nothing's going to happen to you. Physically, emotionally, mentally, we can deal with that, but physically, nothing is going to happen to you. But she did not try to destroy him. It took me to destroy him. You know what I mean? And because she felt like nobody was on her side. So that narrative is a lie because she could have been let those pictures out. She didn't do it. She wound up giving it to me. And another thing when you said about accountability, right? And people can change, right? Um I'm gonna tell you what he did, right? This is a deep, dark individual. And now that certain things are coming out and you start to see things for what they are, not what they present themselves to be, you start to see things clearer. Um, there was an individual. I don't want to say his name because I spoke to him and he said, Raheem, man, I hear this video going viral where my name is involved. And he's a good person and he deserves that award. He gave him a Freedom Fighters Award. And he's a frontline warrior for people that are involved in police interaction and injustice, right? One day we see this individual and he said, F that person. And I said, why would you say that? He said, because when I was going through my ordeal, I called him and he wouldn't represent me. He gave that individual a Freedom Award, right? To play in the girl's face because he didn't want to represent him because he said he knows both parties and he doesn't want to get involved in it. So psychologically, he's telling the girl, you thought these people wouldn't stand next to me again, but look, they with me on stage. The big night of this situation with the premiere, he presents him with an award. Another lady, and I don't want to say names and all that because people focus too much on names. Very prominent individual in the community, writes books, do a lot of healing. If you go on her page, you see her at her events, you see her singing for her. Just, you could tell they had a close bond, right? And in one of her posts, she talks about how this individual was there for her when she had a traumatic experience. I ain't even got to tell you the rest. As you go along, you can figure it out, right? He gave her a award as well. So there is no remorse. There is no accountability, and it gets deeper and it gets darker. And what he did to me, oh, that shit is unforgiving. You know what I mean? That's unforgiving. Like I that's one thing. I don't forgive and I don't forget. And like I said, the best thing that can happen is that he stay over there and I'm the way the fuck over here. You know what I mean? We can't coexist in the same room, the same space, and none of that. You know, and that's what it is.
Well, you're gonna have to do something because I guess if you go to court and court says that y'all gotta stay away, somebody's gonna have to move. But that I guess that brings me back to the whole fight thing. Maybe can I think our community would benefit from celebrity boxing matches of
Oh
sorts.
yeah, I'll do that.
I
I'll do
mean,
that, you know.
like why we can't bring it together like that, and then people get to see some things, people get to come together. That whole wishing we would work it out. We can work it out, with some gloves on in a ring and let's
Yeah,
do it
listen,
like that.
Eve, everybody know who my father is, right? My father's name is Shalik, right? And my father's 81 years old. Last year he got in the ring and he did an exposition, right? My father's nice with the hands. I've been taught how to fight and been in the ring since I was 16. When I was behind the wall, I was on the state boxing team. Like so, yeah. I know how to get down with the get down, and I have no problem to it. And what we could do is the money that's raised after whatever pays for my legal fees, we could donate that to a domestic violence shelter, black led domestic violence shelter. We can do that. I'm willing to do that. But listen, even still, after I do that, you still got to stay way over there though, and I'm gonna stay way over here. You know that right there, that's non-negotiable. You know, and this is what I really don't like about this situation is that I can't be in 200 yards, right? My address and his address got the same zip code, right? So the supermarket, the gas station, the vegan restaurants are all in close proximity to both of us. And if he walks in, this is what they told me. If I'm in the restaurant and I order and he walks in, I have to leave because if he makes a phone call and says that he has a TPO against me, I'm going to jail. And I know for a fact he will do that. If he
Yeah,
sees
I
me, he's
don't
gonna
I don't mean to cut you
automatically,
off, Raheem, but that's just real bitch made. And that's what
and,
I'm sorry,
and
that
that's
gets
what
to
we're
my
dealing
point.
with.
But so again, you can say what you're saying. He's gonna have to stay over there. I'm gonna have to stay. I mean, if you go to court on the 25th and they say that you have to abide by this protective order, then you've been bitched in your own home or you're gonna have to leave. So, to me, it seems real quick to just throw some hands, show everybody that you're the dominant one in this situation. And I mean, that could go either way. What if he whooped your ass? Then what? Because then he'd be looking kind of crazy. I'm not saying that that's what would happen. I'm just saying that that could happen. I'm throwing out celebrity boxing matches for our community. Celebrity, that's in quotes, because we know who people are. But that gets me back to my main point. Who are you, Rick Mathis? Like, who are you, nigga? Like, where'd you come from? And that goes to my other point. In the new black media, there is a saying that I think people ride really hard. If I don't say something about somebody, then I'm saying something about somebody. And I tossed and turned about if I was going to talk to y'all about this tonight, but I've landed on I'm going to talk about it tonight. And if somebody has brought somebody to the community and they've validated them or given them accolades or at least told people, hey, this is somebody you should listen to. And then it comes out that this is a person that we shouldn't be listening to. It's on that person to do something about it. So, Boyce Watkins, I'm sorry, man. Like, it seems like you are trying to stay out of it, but this is not the time. If this nigga is out here pulling bitch made stunts, like calling the police on niggas, all right, so that's not as bad as telling the police that a person who can't have firearms has firearms. That seems like he wanted to get you got. And when you start playing with people's lives, like that's That's not somebody who should be talking to us at all. We should be looking at this person like the enemy. And doesn't necessarily matter all the good things that they may or may not have done for the community. I don't give a shit about somebody getting an award. Who the fuck cares? Y'all niggas is like that? Y'all care about awards like that? Man, I'm so sick of y'all award ass, participation trophy ass people. Like, who gives a damn? Like, have we won? Do we have reparations yet? Have all the problems been solved? I love talking to our elder, Mr. Fuller, because he talks a lot, but it's like real simple. And if you can't figure out some simple shit, then what are you doing with all this complicated stuff? So, back to my main thing. Seems real simple. Y'all got beef. Y'all need to settle it in the ring. We can sell tickets. People can get involved. We can rally around the fact that it's black men displaying masculinity, I guess. Because black men calling the cops or temporary protective order against another nigga, that's what you do if you can't win in a fight. Because that, Raheem, I'm
I,
sorry.
I
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I
I
don't
know,
mean
no,
to
I
like
hear
go
what you're
off
saying,
like I'm
but my
just saying, like it just seems a
my
little.
question my question is this, right? Okay, after the celebrity boxing match, which I'm not opposed to, but you know that anybody know that's not gonna happen. But after that, where do we stand? We still got a bitch made nigga that's in the community that the community needs to rid itself of. So doing the fight is not gonna solve the problem. Solving the
Actually, it would
problem.
though. It really would. Cause like here's let's just say let's just say it happened. And let's just not use you. Let's just say you've got Johnny and Bobby. Johnny and Billy. Okay, Johnny and Billy. I like that. Johnny and Billy are on opposite sides, but they're on the same. Everybody knows them. So Johnny and Billy are in the same community, but they have a disagreement. Well, Johnny and Billy go duke it out in the ring. And then essentially, whoever wins, that would be the person that the community would rally behind. The person who lost would have to eat the loss, get stronger, come back again, I guess, if that's what they wanted to do. But what would have to
I
happen is
hear
the
you.
community would have to be like, enough is enough. And if you can't abide by the fact that you lost, then you got to go. And then the people would do it for you. You wouldn't necessarily have to make all these moves by yourself. But if you're saying that the people in that community or where y'all are at care more about accolades and awards versus making sure that the people that they're getting information from are solid individuals, then I don't know. Maybe your community got some work to do.
Well, let me say this, right? The individuals, two individuals you gave the award to, oh, they don't know about the situation. They didn't know under the pretense of why they was getting the award. You know, looking in hindsight, you see why he gave them the award, but they doesn't know. They know now, though. After I exposed it, they know. They know the situation now. Now, I just want to push back on one thing that you said, right? I'm from the streets, right? And when we deal with street rules, right? If I bring somebody around, I'm responsible for them. You know, just like you watch the mafia movie, you bring someone in and they become a made man, and you find out, you know, they ain't who they say they is. Oh, it's your job to do something to them, but in this case, it's your job to speak out against him. I get that, right? But with that's street politics, and we're not dealing with street politics. Now, I know me and you had a conversation, and I'm gonna say what I told you. In regards to Boyce Watkins, Boyce Watkins, in my opinion, had nothing to do with this. Did Boyce Watkins reach out to me? Absolutely. Send me a text, Raheem, what's going on? I text them back. My video and my commentary is self-explanatory. He asked me if I wanted to talk. I told him today is my birthday. I'm enjoying my birthday. If I feel like talking afterwards, then maybe yes. He said you can reach out to me anytime. But you know what? You know what Raheem decided? I'm not reaching out to him. Why? Because this is between two grown men. I handle my own. I don't get nobody else in my squabble. Now this was when it was in its infinite stage. You know what I mean? It didn't lead to the level that it did now. This was actually August 22nd on my birthday. Um, One thing I will say, sometimes silence is better than actually being front and center and making a statement, right? Um, if you look at Boyce's page, Boyce hasn't promoted the movie. Boyce is not standing next to this. And until he does something otherwise, then I really I can't throw him under the bus. And I know a lot of people don't like him for whatever reasons. There's some things that I seen him post where I was like, wait a minute. But in this situation, I really, what I mean, in regards to me, he didn't, he did the right thing. That's what I can say. And I'm not here
I
trying to defend
appreciate.
nobody.
Look,
I'm not here trying to
Raheem,
defend nobody. I'm just gonna tell the truth and let the chip fall where it may.
I feel you, and I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your honesty. I'm going to tell you that you can't. Well, all right. Feel how you want to feel about what I'm about to say, but in its infancy, that might have been the best time to say something because maybe you wouldn't be here with the temporary protective order and asking for help to raise $20,000. Like
That may
you,
be true too.
so
That may be
I'm
true.
just saying, like, for what it's worth, like, you are asking people for help. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but the person who might have been able to do the most help at the best time, you was like, you gonna handle it. And I get that. That might be some man shit. That might be some black man shit. Y'all can handle anything and everything on your own. Maybe. I'm still learning. I don't know all the answers. I'm just Eve. But what I do know is that Boyce is a person that everybody has already, kind of given some credentials. And because of it, the movie kind of got some legs. And from there, think about all of the people who are in the movie who've been affected by the fact that it's not being promoted. That's a waste of everybody's time, all because the paperwork check didn't really do what it was supposed to do. Y'all ain't, not you, y'all, just in general, people weren't vetted before saying yes, I would do this project. Because even though it sounds cool, like I said, I like when people say black first. I think it's great. But if you don't mean black first, then you need to take that shit out your mouth. Like, it's not for you. You need to stop talking like that because you're going to start muddying it. And then people hear black first and it's like associated with this man who beats women. That's not a good look. And if you're not saying anything, that's not a good look. That's my issue. Not that it's Boyce's problem, because it's not. Trust me, I'm with you. This is between you and him. He ain't like what you did. You retaliated, he retaliated. He couldn't get a gun and shoot you, so he tried to get the cops to do it. That's bitch made. And I'm trying real hard to not use this type of language, but sometimes is necessary. I don't have the vocabulary. I don't. I'm floored that another black man would do that to another black man. It's just ridiculous. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Peace to Dr. Short who just came through. Dr. Short, I'm gonna let you speak, but look, I'm sorry. My personal opinion is that the big people need to do something if they know something about something. And I'm not saying it's
All
their
right,
job. It's not Boyce's
can
job. I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying that
yeah.
it's a lot of trickle down effect. Look, you were in the movie. Look, I just looked up the cast. Hold on. You've got uh Riza Islam, Queen Afua, Nuri Muhammad, who else? Mama Pill, Dr. Anderson, um, who else? Jay Morrison's in it. Okay. Jade, Peace to Jade, she's in it. Blue
Yeah,
Pill.
Linus Krause
I
is in
mean,
the
there's a
building.
lot of people in this that could have benefited from this project if it were going to do what it was supposed to do. But when you got the wrong people chefing in the kitchen, you're gonna come out with some shit that don't taste right. It's gonna taste like shit. And now everybody has to disassociate from it. That's not cool. It's like, why did we even do this? And not we, I didn't do anything, but why did y'all waste everybody's time? And I'm not yelling at you, but I am saying, like, come on. Something's gotta give. Go ahead, Dr. Short.
I simply want to say blessings to the whole room, peace to everybody here. Of course, much honor and love to you, one of the head Wazi sisters, all the other Wazis there. And I want to say, on behalf of good black men, um, I have to show solidarity with this man. I'm traumatized from violence against black women in my family, and what I'm sick of it. I've been sick from the first time I watched a black man beat a pregnant black woman and no one helped. And then that man shot her to death. So I've been done since 69. And what we can do, all of us listening, I'm not a rich person, unfairly fired from a job, but I sent something yesterday. This brother has a Cash App, this brother has a GoFundMe. uh, I had to give something. And we can't let these. There's a type of predator, full of shit black man that deserves to be lynched by black men and women that prey on our women and girls, and I'm sick of it. This man has stood up. There's an issue. We have to establish that black women are safe in this country, or we're not worth the goddamn. This man has made his stance. It's right. I don't care who doesn't like me. You don't need to talk to me ever again. Damn you. Damn this bullshit covering up for predator, no good brotherfucker black men. I'm sick of all of them. He's done the right thing. We let people know that there's a new sheriff in town. And you can't go in circles and call yourself a black leader or any or B1 or any of that stuff, and you don't got no smoke for killer cops or these illegals that are now killing and raping and disappearing our sisters and other folks. You don't got any smoke to stand up to fight for our sanctity as a people, and you can beat a woman unconscious and then rape her, and you're supposed to be held up. I can't have solidarity. I have a rule. And I had to go and have someone go with the sister because somebody I thought was cool raped a mutual friend. We became enemies the minute I heard that. I don't have any solidarity with black men that violate black women or children. It's over for you. You're dead to me.
Okay, Randy Short, real quick. I'm gonna let you finish, but one thing I want to do. He didn't rape her. After he beat her unconscious, from what she told me, when she woke up, he was trying to have sex with her. He didn't have sex. He was trying to.
Okay,
So
that's
I don't. I
attempted.
don't
That's attempted rape.
okay, yeah, I don't want to say rape, and you
Thank
know
you
what I
for
mean.
the
Yeah,
correction. I misunderstood. I'm that I
it's just as worse,
it,
but
it's unacceptable. You're right. You're right. It's unacceptable. Um, Everybody should deal with this kind of stuff. We can't have a movement if folks are getting harassed in the shadows behind people who have big names. To hell with that. I don't care who it is. It must stop. And thank you for stopping it in the corner where you were, brother. We need to send him the legal support so he can stand because he's not just fighting this battle. We already know him. He's been doing it for a long time. I wish that everybody that had a past turned out like you did. God bless you. I wish I could do more. We know people with large followings that could tweet this, and this would be a done deal. And brother, because you saw I wrote one of them. I've written a few. And the quote is, "We can't let this brother's ass get put in jail." I haven't gotten a response. I'm not going to say. We can do better. The name of the film is B1. Well, where are the B1 people? What the hell use is the new black media if it lets some of its leading soldiers get left behind? I'm done because I'm angry.
That's a very real question. That is a very real question. What is Black first? I think that if you are thinking very small, then you'll have a very small answer. But if you think about us, as one big nigga, like how everybody else treats us, then, we're not as small as we make ourselves. We're actually pretty big. We're actually pretty strong. Um, I like the symbol of us coming together for the Hidden History Museum because I don't think that people thought that that was going to happen, but it happened, and it happened in a very little bit of time. So if you can think about how many people contributed and then how much time it took to actually come into fruition, we can move things if we want to. Or if you just look at our spending power, the everybody's always talking about how we spend, and really I don't know where we come up with the funds to spend on some of these things, but we find it and we do it. So if it matters to you, then you do it. If it doesn't matter to you,
You
then you
know
won't.
what? E- You know what, Eve? Maybe I gotta get hit in the face with a brick.
Well, look, did she even get hit
Brickgate
in the
got
face with a brick?
40,000.
Because I think the jury's still out on that too. Like, I don't know.
Yo, no, listen. She got 40,000.
She got 43,000, and
Oh,
this is the same.
43,000.
This is the same thing I said before you came on the space yesterday. If we can do that for this liar, how could a righteous person go begging? It's
See,
just
Dr.
I
Stewart,
just
I got
I
pushed
can't.
back because we didn't do that. Like,
I know
it's
I know we didn't do it. She didn't get hit with the brick. She's a
no,
grifter.
not that. We didn't help her
No,
with
no,
the
she's talking
money.
about
That's not
we.
us.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
them people, and they
Yeah,
do
that's dumb
that.
people. No, no, nobody in this room. Like, let me shout out a couple of people. Connie Collins, she donated. The first person that donated was Jay, our sister Lioness Crowd. Dr. Randy Short, he donated. And what I tell people is, even if you can't donate, the least you can do is retweet it. I can't even get that from certain Negroes. So I'm watching people wisely, and I'm just like, yo, this is very telling because, like I said, today is me and tomorrow is you, and within um I think it's either GoFundMe or the other one that I use. I don't since I've been online. I donated to 16 campaigns. Some of them as little as $20. I think the most was $100. But I donated to causes. You know what I mean? And nobody owes me anything. And I understand there are people that literally sent me like their bank account statements is like and telling me, yo, listen, I'm in court right now for eviction. Raheem, if I had it, I'd give you. It's not about that. It's about whatever you can send. If you can't send, the least you can do is retweet it. And some people I can't even get that from. And it's cool because either way, you know what I mean. I'm gonna have to.
Well,
I got legal representation, but how far am I going to be able to go with it? You know what I mean? Because one thing, like I said, I don't want to do is allow this individual to be victorious in what he's doing because it will set a precedent where other people will come and do it. Like you cannot weaponize the police. Like and I wrote it earlier, and I'll say it right now. Any black person who forcefully calls the police, which is the military arm of white supremacy, and weaponize it against another black person is effectively serving as a tool of white supremacy. This is off code behavior and definitely not B1. Because when we talk about B1, right, everything we say, think, and do has to be for the empowerment and the liberation of black people. Because with the white supremacists, everything they say and do is for white power. So this is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where we're going to see those that are amongst us that are really serious about liberation. Because many shall come, and only a few should be chosen. The ones that's chosen is the ones that chose themselves. So in the future, however it pans out, I'm gonna definitely be moving different. And I might not even, depending on the circumstances, I might not be as visual as I am now, but I'm gonna always be doing something that's liberating for the community. You might not see it. No one might not see it. I may start working as a gardener to get rid of food deserts. That's about liberation of our people because other people are controlling our food, and we got to stop that. So I'm gonna always be doing something. I don't know if I'm gonna be as visual, depending on how this situation works out. Because if this man can stop me from telling the truth of what he did, and this becomes something that is legislated in law, then what it's gonna say for the rest of us that are out here standing up for truth.
Can I say something? This brother is a good man and he's righteous. Uh, I don't care how people, I want folk hate me, but help him. He needs some motherfucking money. Someone just sent me a donation. It's at Western Union. So someone gave me something. I'm going to send him another piece of money, and I'm not working. He needs money. He needs motherfucking money. He needs stacks of money to fight this no good, sellout, woman beating, liar nigga. And I got to put some money on it. Please. His Cash App is $Raheem, spelled Rahiem, Shabazz. There is a GoFundMe. If he if he won't beg, I'm a preacher's kid. I come from begging. I can beg for Jesus. I can beg for a living black man standing up right now. If you can't find a way to give him some money, you contact me. He needs money. It increased last night. It went up by almost $400. It should have gone up a whole grand. He needs thousands. There's some corruption. I'm sorry, I got family from Georgia. I mean, we got a lot of corrupt, fuck ass people in my family. I mean, a bunch of jailbirds and Atlanta. Goddamn, we can't let them even get him near Fulton County Jail, where black men disappear. They get eaten by bed bugs. I'm just not down for anybody else getting left behind. If y'all got some money, $5 money, weave money, I don't know, Slurpee money. Just fast a Slurpee or a soda, something you're going to spend in the Asian store, and they hate our guts anyway, and send it to this brother. Okay, don't blame him. I'm the nigga that begged. I need to be able to sleep with a clear state of mind that a person that I've seen do what is right can say, hey, look, they come for me. And we circle the wagons around it. It lets people know that you can't fuck with us. And that's why I've gotten in this. I don't like it. It's God, it makes me mad. So let me stop because this is messing. This boggles the mind how this can happen to someone that we know. We can't let this happen. It sends a signal to all the other snitches, like the brother he described that set up Fred Hampton and Mark Clark, who, thank God, committed suicide before Eyes on the Prize Part 2 came out. I'd like for all the no good black folks to do us a favor. But in the interim, we can't control what other people do at the courts, but we can write a check, we can send a Cash App, we can send a GoFundMe, we can send a gift card, we can do something to say we appreciate this brother. I've only met him one time, so I'm shocked. I thought I was shocked that I can do something to help this brother's out everywhere. Maybe I can do a little bit. A little old me, broke ass me, can do something. We can do it if we want to. The greatness of Black Wall Street, all of them, was that people could put pennies together to achieve great things. This is our greatness. Let's show this time. If we save one person, we saved humanity. Let me stop you. Let me get off this so other people can talk. Please help this man. Please, please.
Thank you, Randy Short, Dr. Randy Short. I appreciate it. Randy Short was the first one. He didn't send me a tweet. He didn't send me a text. He got on the phone and said, "Brother, what can I do to help?" He said, I ain't got no money. He said, but I got a loud mouth and I can wake these niggas up. And he did that. And listen, I was reluctant to talk, it's because of Just Eve and Dr. Randy Shaw that I'm able to talk, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, yo, man, listen, man, the hell with it, man. What's the worst could happen? They could say, oh, okay, this is what the permanent protective order is, and then I guess I gotta abide by it. But I listen, man, I will leave Atlanta before I'd be restricted under those type of motherfucking rules. That shit is like apartheid. I can't go over here because a bitch made niggas over here. Yeah, I'll be up out of here. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be able to listen. Might won't be in Atlanta. I'll be in New York speaking my truth, but the truth is gonna be told. Fuck all that. And shout out to JoJo. JoJo, he was instrumental in letting Lioness Crown know about lawyers and different things like that. Cause that was a hard thing, man. Getting the lawyers, man. When I tell you, man, this lady told me, man, $10,000. I said, no, not no way. And then she asked me what was my credit score. I said, what my credit score got to do with it? I said it's a 770. She said, oh, we can finance that. I said, that's predatory. But I have since learned that's how they do it now. You can actually finance your lawyer, you can finance your bail. I was like, this is some new shit. But I was able to get retain counsel at a decent price. Not no $10,000, but that price, that was quoted if we have to go to trial, if witness have to be crossed and cross-examined and deposition and I don't anticipate it going like that, but you never know, man. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this bitch ass nigga, man, is playing for keeps, man. And yo, shout out to Dewan B, man. He's in the building. You know what I mean? Like, we might not have a lot of people in here, but look at the caliber of people. Dr. Randy Shaw, Lioness Crown, Dewan B, Just E, JoJo. And I'm not gonna go all the way down, but I just from what I'm seeing on my screen. So, yo, that's all we need, man. We just need us. Because at the end of the day, it's just us. You know what I mean? So I'm not, looking for anybody outside of us. I wish that I could just come to us and do it. But to be honest with you, y'all might can't see the names because everybody's given anonymous, and I understand that. But I'm looking at the names, and I'm like, I only recognize 4 or 5 names. There's people that don't know me on a personal level that that are donating. And out of all the names, only one of them is a family member. Her name is Jay Johnson. She lives in Virginia. She dropped 50 on me. You know what I mean? So it ain't just what I mean, the online conscious community. It's family. You know what I mean? When you speak this type of truth, your family won't even like you. You know what I mean? You think I get invited to everybody's Thanksgiving? Hell no. Nah. You know what I mean? And they have their reasons. Some of the stuff is because what I post online and what I stand for, and but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not changing for nobody. I'm Black Power to the last hour, man. That's what it is with me, man. But I'm gonna pass the mic back to Just Eve and take it from there.
I appreciate that. And definitely, Dr. Short, thank you for coming through and speaking those words. I like how you get up under their skin. And you do got a big mouth. We have to use what we have at our disposal at all times. That is something that we do, but we don't do it the right way. So shout out to people who can talk that talk and walk that walk. Um, what did I want to say? What did I want to say? I wanted to say this. When we're looking at people to listen to or people that we should be getting our information from, you should pay attention to what they say about themselves. This is from westendfilmmakers.com slash b1 dash the movie I'm sorry, slash B1 dash the movie slash. Okay, I might have messed up. Whatever. This is a Rick's website. Rick Mathis, also known as the Documentary King, is an accomplished filmmaker and author with over 20 years of experience in photojournalism and filmmaking. Based in Atlanta, Georgia, he founded Weston Filmmakers and is internationally recognized as a leading director, producer, and writer. Mathis began his career in the performing arts in 1997, performing original poetry and managing talent for HBO's Def Poetry Jam. This is where it gets good. These poets won notable awards such as Tony Award, Peabody Award, and Emmy Award, and appeared at the HBO Film Festival and Def Poetry Jam on Broadway. Isn't that great? I mean, he's self-identified as a person who has zero awards, but apparently he's able to get all these other people on. That's so great. Shout out to Rick.
And he never named any of the people that he
No, I mean
represented.
that's okay. You don't have to. I think that.
Because listen, all of that is fluff. Now he was a part of the poet community in Atlanta when it was very young, so he knew all the principal players and stuff like that. But they went on to do great things. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And he
absolutely.
wasn't a
That's
part of that.
definitely
Uh,
what I was trying to pinpoint. You can know people and then you can do things. Sometimes it's about who you know and it's sometimes about what you do. But if you're a person who is an expert in knowing people and not really doing anything, then that might be somebody you might not listen to. Maybe you listen to the people that they put on because apparently they're not saying anything worth listening to. If they were, then they would be the one who was on. Just a thought. Maybe you feel that way. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
let me yeah, let me ask how many people we got in this room right now?
Mm, looks like about 40 people in the room.
40.
40
Huh?
people live listening to us.
All right. Anybody, well, I know Jay probably know a few other people. Anybody, raise your hand if you heard of Black Friday film. Nobody raised their hand? I'm trying to look.
No, there's no hands up. And that goes back
Okay.
to my original point, Raheem. Who are you? Not you, Rick. Who are you, dude? And really, here's the problem. When you're an unknown, but then you come around people who are known, it's up to those people to have discernment. What is discernment? That is the ability to judge well. Look, y'all, I'm not going to be in here all night because for real, y'all are either going to do or you're not going to do. My thought about it is that black on black crime shouldn't be a thing. And when people talk about it, they're not talking about black on black. They're talking about something else. This right here, this is black on black crime. When you've got a nigga who will go out of his way to get the police involved to try to harm another nigga, there's a better way to say that. When a black man goes to the people who are known to cause havoc and terror and they just fuck with us in the worst way, when they go to them people to handle some other to handle us, I just can't wrap my mind around that. It just sounds like he wanted some harm to come to you, and for what? Because
Oh,
you said
absolutely.
something that was true and he didn't like it. I don't like that. um
And you know what, Eve? Listen, this is the thing, right? When we talk about B1 and putting black first, you know what that means? That means that we control the natural resources in our community. That means that we live in black society, right? That we do not call those that are armed or occupying forces in our community to handle our affairs. You know what this nigga did? He called the elder, a grandmaster teacher, and told him, my lawyer told me, no, not my lawyer told me, my lawyer made me file a TPO on Raheem Shabazz. You know what the Grandmaster teacher told him? Your lawyer can't make you do nothing. He can advise you. And then he said, well, he violated anyway because he posted it. And they told him, you better not go down there and get that man in jail. And what he do? He still went and did it. See, I'm talking too much. I wasn't even supposed to say that, but I'm not going to say names and people and places.
Let me just mute you then, Raheem. You gotta you gotta have discernment too, brother. Some things don't necessarily need to be said. I think the people, at least the people in this room and the people who've donated, they are understanding the severity of what's going on. They might not know what all happened behind the scenes. Really, y'all, it's some messy nigga shit. Like somebody, Raheem said something about dude, and it was true, but dude didn't want anybody to know about it. So dude retaliated. But this is how we retaliate. Y'all are really doing some, not you, y'all, and maybe not y'all in this room, but there are people out here doing the most fucked up shit and then thinking that there's no consequence for it. That's wrong. And if there's people who know about it, they need to do something about it. Like I said, I'm not in the situation, but I do think that we should set a precedent. I've been stomping on this very hard. We have to help each other out. I don't I don't think we would be fighting for reparations if we were already there. Raheem would be able to afford his legal counsel because he's, competent and able to take care of his shit. But as it stands, when you can call them people on each other, on ourselves, that's unfair. You have to do something different. I'm still down for, setting up. I will personally set up a celebrity boxing match between Raheem and Rick to just let y'all duke it out, and have the funds go to an appropriate place. Because as it stands, if you go to court on the 25th and the judge says you cannot go to wherever he's at, then now you've been bitched in your own city. And that's kind of fucked up that that's what you would have to eat when y'all could just duke it out. And may the best man win. I don't know. But let me pause on that. Our brother Joe came up. Peace to you, Joe. Uh, we're talking about paperwork and discernment. What are your thoughts?
Hey, I don't have all the time in the world, but I appreciate you for always being a servant to the community. I just wanted to tell Raheem. Raheem already know, man. I be on bullshit, so I'm glad I ain't in it right now. Bro, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. You stood there for old man in the beginning, bro. So the little money that I was gonna donate to his legal defense next week, I'm gonna send that to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do it. Cause I know he ain't gonna trip it. He already know. You know what I'm saying? So
I
I just
appreciate
switch
that.
out. You know what I mean? Ain't no problem, bro. But yeah, if I was, I was in the city, man. We be on that West End right here. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just shut up. I be on that bull.
All right, so I gotta mute you too, Joe. Come on, man. Like, y'all can't get him in trouble before he goes to court. Like, what are we doing? No, what we're doing, look, if y'all got $5, I'm all about the little dollars add up. New Black Media Appreciation Month. I saw in a big way how, if you stop going and get that faux for faux, that adds up. And if you can sacrifice a little bit just because you know that niggas get the worst hand ever. We always get the worst hand. And maybe you're tired of us always having to fight like that. So, you send your little four for $4 in. It's cool. I mean, if you got more, do more. If you want to. If you don't want to, maybe you just think it's a fucked up situation, but you can share it. Do that. Maybe you know somebody who will feel differently about the funds and they will donate. I don't like to count people's pockets because I know that everybody's got something going on. But what I do know is that if y'all care, you will do something. That's math. I mean, that is the math. If you care, you'll do something. And maybe this isn't something you care about. But what if it were you? What if you get into a situation with somebody online and they don't like what you're doing, but they know something about you and they can use it against you? Now what? And I'm not saying that there's a trickle down effect or that you should do something because later you're going to get something. You shouldn't live life like that. But you should live life knowing that people got your back. You've had their back. They get your back. That should be the
Yeah,
math.
absolutely. And listen, let me take a little page out of Cleflo Dollar's book. You know, we take the money that fold, but we'll take the change that jingle. So send it all. Send all of it. Now let me stop. But listen, I do want to say this though, right? Um, you're right. You know, it can become a time where, you know, they're using this, you know, to weaponize themselves against you, you know, and I'm pretty sure that they probably did an extensive search, a deep dive analysis of who I am and my criminal background, and all of that could be ascertained under the Freedom of Information Act, on the websites, New York State Department of Corrections, and everything else. If you want to look me up, you know what I mean? I have not had no interaction with law enforcement in the last 30 years. Now, from the time I was 16 to 24, oh yeah, you can find some shit now. You can find some shit. But guess what? Never against women and children. It was all about the streets. You know what I mean? And I lived that life. And guess what? There's still no chinks in my armor. I never told on nobody. And even when I did something bad, I did it honorable. You know what I mean? I made sure that you walked away with your life and I walked away with your money. I never hurt nobody. I might have scared them, but I didn't hurt them. Now let me stop. But no, what I'm saying is though, we all have a past. And I have a past, and mine is a long time ago. You know what I mean? And ever since that day I walked out that door, I've been talking about mass incarceration, stopping the violence, the school to prison pipeline. And that's why I made a documentary about it. It wasn't a money grab. It was something that I believed in and that was near and dear to my heart. You know what I mean? And listen, I am online. Everybody knows me online. When I was in the penitentiary and behind enemy lines, right? I was in at least 12 different New York State correctional facilities. So they was bouncing me all over the place. They wouldn't keep me in one place for long. So a lot of people had interactions with me. If there was anything about me, it would have already been talked about. Remember, I've been on social media since social media began. There's no chinks in my armor. You know what I mean? I'm real in what I say and what I do. And that's what it is. And sometimes I think I'm too real for myself, but that's gonna change. I'm a still be who I am, but I gotta be more observant. And how you said, just Eve, you gotta have discernment. I could really gotta watch and look at everything that's around me and people that I allow or introduce into certain spaces. Fortunately, I didn't introduce him to the space. You know, he got his way in. You know, I knew him as a filmmaker, the B1 and everything. But when he tells his story, he tells it as Boyce came to him with the idea for the film. This wasn't his idea. Like, he never raised his fist and said B1. It was Boyce that brought the idea to him. And some way along the way, you know, he adopted the mannerism, the speaking, the talking points, you know, and it wasn't him. And he'd been exposed, and as they say, the rest is history. But like I said, man, I appreciate everybody, man, that's in this room. I appreciate everybody that donated thus far. I appreciate everybody that tweeted it. I was looking at some of the comments. Some young lady, Quan, she said, "Wait, I'm confused, a little tardy. What did I miss? I'm hearing how people should be supporting, but I don't know the backstory." You're gonna have to catch the replay on that, and that's another thing too. Everybody want to call me. Everybody want to text me, and I'm not talking to you, sister. And they want to know the story. Like, it's exhausting explaining this shit over and over and over again. The same people that ask me, "Yo, what happened?" Da da da, and I tell them what I'm doing. None of them is donating, and I'm like, "Damn! I just wasted a half an hour on the phone with you." So I stopped answering my phone. You know, people are not interested in helping. They just want the gossip, and that's what. And I'm not here for the gossip. I'm here. If I'm gonna tell the gossip, I'm gonna be like Peter, John, and Paul, and the gospel gonna be the truth, because that's the only thing I know. And with that, man, I know you said you wasn't gonna be long. If anybody, I don't know how you want to end it, Eve, but I'll answer some questions if
I
you
got you,
want.
Raheem. I got you. I am gonna bring Dr. Short back up for some final thoughts, but yeah, if there is anybody in the room that has any questions, you can, throw it in the chat. Essentially, I will keep this up here on the platform so that you can catch the playback. If you want to get involved, the GoFundMe is in the jumbo. Like I said, I'm not here to count your pockets, but I am saying that sometimes it's only going to be us that helps us. And if you know that that's reality, then maybe you throw a couple dollars at it. I You could have done the same thing for Othel. I understand that you might not have it, but maybe you do, and you just didn't think about it like this today. Maybe you start having these thoughts now. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to save everybody. $4 is not about to save Raheem from his legal battles. Trust me. $10 is not going to save Othel or from his for his appeal case. These little increments are not going to move the needle like that, but it is a drop in the bucket. And if you're trying to fill the bucket and all you got is drops, then shit, you're gonna have to put some drops in the bucket. Go ahead, Dr. Short.
I want to say again, Sister Isla, Wazi Wazi to you. Sister Star, Wazi Wazi. Sister Jade, thank you in particular for reaching out to Brother Raheem. Thank you, Sister Jade. Thank everybody on here. Brother Dewan, love you, brother. And I was really having a heart issue, but you know what? I just sent him $20 and it gave me such a peace. Instead of feeling powerless or angry, my few dollars are going to make a difference. So I gave 20. I can't wait until I get the money tomorrow. I got to do it now. I feel so much better. It's more blessed to give than receive. I want to say this to this man, and I'm going to stop. Someone told him to talk to me. He received me like a brother, sight unseen. I don't even know what I look like. Everybody knows I don't comb my hair. That's the Pan Africanist in me. But he's just been a righteous person at every corner. It is worth it. And I want to say this. Back on May, I think May 13th, 2013, I got a call from my other friend with the last name Shabazz. It was Malcolm Shabazz. Malcolm X's grandson reached out to me. He needed money, and I didn't have anything. If I had had it, I would have given it. He got beaten to death that night. Can't save him, but I can give something to the Shabazz that's living. We can't save Malcolm, either him or the grandfather, Dr. King, all these people are gone. We need to focus in on saving the ones that we can with what little we have. I feel so much better I couldn't wait until tomorrow to give. God bless y'all. God bless you, Sister Jade, Sister Isla, all of you. Please help him. Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Short. And again, thank you to everybody who's donated. I've seen the needle move a little bit tonight. As you think about what we've talked about tonight, I think the main thing that I'd like you to leave this space with is to have discernment. Raheem, you're gonna get questioned. You're asking people for money. That is the math. So I hear you. It's tiring. It's exhausting. And there are a lot more people who want to just giggle and hear the gossip and sip the tea. That is that is an ugly aspect of sharing information. But like you said, when you're speaking truth to power, you can't really do nothing else but come up from that. And you're going to get some pushback. But if you're in the right, then you're in the right. And people will support that. So continue to speak truth to power. I think that people will support you. I think that, honestly, I mean, I really hope that the judge laughs at all of this, laughs that there's a grown man out here going out of his way to serve protective orders against men who are not walking around with weapons or frequenting certain places. I really hope all of this gets thrown out and that you get to stomp the yard in your neighborhood or where you want to be. I think that would be really messed up if you have to go because this this man did what he did. Can we call him a man? Are we calling him a man? I don't know. Because Rick is doing what Rick is doing. Well, there's that. Again, make sure that you're checking the paperwork. People who are talking to us, just because they have the language doesn't mean that they're speaking for us. Black first.